The CW's ratings have plummeted, viewership is at an all-time low, and consumers are not buying into the series they're releasing. And back at the beginning of the year, we found out that the CW was for sale because it has never made a profit. I, of course, thought it was hilarious because I talk about the CW a lot. They are constantly putting out trash content. But now, all these months later, Nexstar is purchasing the CW for all of $0. I have a bunch of different things to show off, but before we get into the topic at hand, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month, or support the channel via YouTube memberships. All of the links are in the description, and of course, I do really appreciate all of the support. So I wanted to start off with this article by the Wall Street Journal. It says Nexstar Media Group, the nation's biggest owner of local television stations, is close to a deal to acquire the majority control of the CW network from co-owners Warner Bros. Discovery and Paramount Global, according to people familiar with the situation. Under the terms being discussed, Nexstar would acquire 75% of the CW, a broadcast network aimed primarily at teens and young adults, with Paramount and Warner Bros. Each retaining 12.5% stakes, the people said. Now, as it points out, this is not like 100% confirmed. We do know that they've been in talks for months, though, to acquire the CW. It was actually in an article back from January that I read, and I will be re-referencing that in a minute, but it says Nexstar isn't expected to pay cash for the CW, but instead would assume at least a significant portion of the network's current losses, which could exceed $100 million, some of the people said. The talks could still fall apart, but the people familiar with the matter say an agreement could be finalized in the coming weeks, and I do believe this because they were in talks back in January. Okay, they were the number one group that wanted to acquire the CW. So we're talking 7 months of discussion here. I feel like it's basically set in stone at this point that this deal is going to go through. It says CBS, the broadcast network of Paramount and Warner Bros. Are expecting to continue to create content for the CW going forward, but Nexstar is also planning to acquire shows from other producers as well, the people said, and in addition, Paramount and Warner Bros. Discovery are expected to retain several $100 million in content licensing revenue from pre-existing deals, including a significant pact with Netflix, some of the people said. Now, of course, I'm sure a lot of you are laughing at the situation because they are acquiring 75% of the CW for $0, and they're assuming a significant portion of the losses, which could exceed $100 million, which is hilarious, but the only reason why they're going through with it is because they faced such major losses over the years. I mean, the CW, Warner Bros. Discovery, and also Paramount are desperate at this point, okay? I mean, the CW has never been profitable, and what's hilarious is they've already skimmed off a ton of the woke content. They canceled Batwoman and Naomi, which were marketed as inclusive and all-around woke shows. The stories weren't good, the CGI was terrible, the acting was mediocre, and these shows never really took off the way they were expecting, even though they shoved a bunch of money into them. Of course, a lot of the other Arrowverse shows have already been canceled or ended, and the only one that's left that's good is Superman and Lois, and that's not even part of the Arrowverse technically. I did talk about this in a live stream, but it says Superman and Lois ditches Supergirl and the Arrowverse. The season 2 finale revealed that there are no other superheroes on Earth except for Superman. Supergirl was another show that failed, and they ended up canceling, and they tried to play it off as, oh, it's just the end of the show and we're doing one last season, even though there were producers who came out and said, yeah, well, they didn't want to pay for it anymore. I mean, The Flash is still going, right? And there are some people who still enjoy The Flash, but The Flash is unfortunately not as good as it used to be, and all of the other shows have ended or been canceled. And if we look at other series that the CW has, Walker. Okay, Walker does get good viewership. Not great ratings, though. If we look at Supernatural, that is over, and we know that they're doing spin-off series. But again, the CW has never been profitable. They're looking at all of these losses, these hundreds of millions of dollars in losses, and they're trying to find a way out, and this is the best case scenario for them. It says Nexstar already is the largest owner of CW affiliates. By taking over control of its operations, the broadcaster is continuing a strategy to invest further in creating and owning content. And back in January, I did talk about the CW being for sale, and as this article says, it says that among the suitors is Nexstar Media Group, the nation's biggest broadcaster and a large owner of affiliates of the network, the people close to the talks said. So we've thought for months that Nexstar was going to figure out a deal, and it's going through now. But hearing about the 75% for $0 and them taking on all of these losses is just, it's hilarious to see happen. I have no hope in the CW anymore, okay? For years now, the content has been bad. The Arrowverse went in a very poor direction, and I just don't see a way that they could magically come back from the situations that they've put themselves in. I mean, when I hear the CW, and I'm sure when a lot of you hear the CW, we are instantly laughing. We're like, oh no, what did the CW do now? Or what's the next trash series they're putting out? They're just a massive joke at this point. This was all but confirmed by the CW boss Mark Pedowitz back in January in a memo he sent to CW employees. In the memo, he wrote, I am sure you all have seen the recent speculation in the press around the CW, so I wanted to take the opportunity to address this with you directly and share with you what we know. First, as many of you are aware, over the past year or so, this transformative time in our industry has led to a series of business activity across media in content companies. Given the environment right now, Viacom, CBS, and Warner Bros. Are exploring strategic opportunities to optimize the value of their joint venture in the CW network. It's too early to speculate what might happen, but we promise to keep you updated as we learn more. And going on over to Twitter, back to the discussing films thread, people are of course sharing memes and GIFs of individuals just laughing, going, wow, I'm not surprised at all. I mean, this person said, so my $3 bid would have worked. I mean, it's just so funny. It's just very comical at this point. Lots of skulls, people trying not to laugh. Oh my god, everyone joking about buying it for $1 was literally setting their price too high. I just think that this is great, okay? The CW is already a massive joke, and they will continue to stay that way. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed, please make sure to give this video a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.